You are listening to the Healthy Christian Women Podcast, brought to you by Fit+Faith, the podcast for Christian women to grow healthier in their mind, body, and spirit. Jumpstart your health with your complimentary mind, body, and spirit detox checklist at healthychristianwomen.com/detox. That's healthychristianwomen.com/detox. Here's your host, Dr. Melody Stevens.
Hello and welcome to the Healthy Christian Women Podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Melody Stevens, and this is Season 3, Episode 30. This episode is being taken from a live stream that I just did yesterday, where I just had some things on my heart that I needed to share regarding the hysteria and hype around coronavirus. And although there are some really very real risks and things that we need to be mindful of, it's just getting to a level that is clearly impacting our society. And so God has a message that He wants us to know in these difficult, scary, and troubled times. So join me for a healthy perspective on keeping calm when everyone and everything around you is going crazy.
Hi ladies, Dr. Melody here with Fit+Faith. Happy to be here with you on this Friday afternoon, and God just put a message in my heart as I've been experiencing the craziness going on all around us today, and I'm sure that you are as well. And so, but He put a beautiful message in my heart that I wanted to share with you, and it brings us back to His truth in Psalm 91. So that's the passage that I'm going to read for you in a little bit. But ultimately, man, how you doing out there? Because it really seems like, and maybe it's just my experience of today in general, but it really seems like panic is rising, like craziness is happening. I had 2 experiences today where I literally just turned around and left and went on my way, went home because it was so crazy. I went to pick up a wrap, just like a little chicken wrap for lunch, between some patients today, went into Trader Joe's. This is the middle of the day, okay? This is like noon, 12:30. Maybe 1. I go in to just get a chicken wrap, and every single check counter was full with lines extending all the way to the back of the store. Every single one of them. And I'm thinking, I just want to buy one item, a chicken wrap, and go. So I was like, heck no. So I turn around and I leave. I'm like, okay, fine. I guess I'll just have lunch later, right? I just got to keep going. Then afterwards, it's a few hours later, just a few hours ago, I was like, oh, I got to go get some stuff to make dinner tonight. So then I go to a neighborhood market around the corner from my house, and I couldn't find a parking space. And I'm driving around. I'm driving everywhere. Every space is completely full. This is not normal. And even the ones on the street and stuff, they're full. And so I was like, well, heck, if that already happened at Trader Joe's, I'm not going in here to get anything because, again, I only need a few items. Things are crazy. And so if I'm going to go to the store, then I'm going to have a really good reason to go with a long list of things to get so that I don't mind waiting an hour in line just to check out, right? So this was my beginning experience of the craziness of what is going on. And I don't know about you, if you are feeling like, it almost feels like Armageddon in a way. I know that's a little extreme, but it feels like that a little bit. I feel like everyone is getting and buying everything so that they can hunker down in their house and not go out. I'm literally not expecting to see people out this weekend with the way that everyone's reacting at the moment, right? And even then, church is getting canceled. I don't know about you, but church is getting canceled. Big events are getting canceled, all these concerts, all these sports things, all these things are getting, and that I fully understand. It's a bummer about church, but I do fully understand it because yes, that's wise, right? If 1 or 2 people for whatever reason happen to be infected, and this goes with anything, this goes with the regular flu, right? This goes with anything, then yes, it makes sense that we don't want hundreds and thousands of people to have a potential exposure. So I appreciate the efforts being taken in that regard. However, all the other regular things, we just need to be smart, guys. We just need to be smart. Exactly like Kay, you just took the words out of my mouth. We just need to be smart. So Yes, we don't want to go to these things where there's going to be hundreds and hundreds of people that are just all over the place, and it's unsanitary and there's different things. Of course, you don't want to do that. But if you're just going out to the store, to Starbucks, to buy a few things, then be smart, right? Have hand sanitizer. If you run out or you don't have it, wash your hands really well beforehand. If you really feel like you must, then hopefully have some disposable gloves if you can still get your hands on those. They say that the masks are not even really helpful. They only protect you from touching your own face. Because they're still so permeable, the masks are not really helpful. But you just need to be smart, right? If you are not feeling well, if you think you have some contagious symptoms, and this goes for anything, even the regular flu, right? Anything, well then do yourself and other people a favor and stay home. But otherwise, we just need to be smart and exercise a good amount of caution, but we don't need to be crazy. And we don't need to be filled with fear and anxiety. That's the thing. In the end, what I wanted to come on and share with you is that we do not need to be filled with fear and anxiety. We just need to be smart. And then, don't you see this? This is an incredible opportunity for us to literally make a difference and show God to other people in the midst of all of this. So I don't know about you, but it can be easy for me to get very easily irritated at stupid people, I just have to be honest, and at obnoxious people that drive crazy and they don't care about anybody else, right? Obnoxious drivers and obnoxious people, and it can be easy to get irritated and to get angry. But what does that serve anyone? What does that really do? And what does that do within you? All it does is feed the beast of your own fears and anxieties and anger and things that we need to show God to other people. And so in this time, I feel like not only just being safe, right? Just being smart and conscientious of where you're going, what you're touching, and how much you're touching your face, right? In addition to that, this is an opportunity for us to be compassion, to be love, to be considerate, to help others and to show God to others. If our churches are closing down, then our mission field was already everyone around us, right? But our mission field is literally outside our doors in the people that are getting overwhelmed in their own anger. People are so irritable and angry because they're stressed out. You can show them that they don't need to be that way. You can be the smile that maybe you're the only one they encountered that day because everybody else is freaking out. So can we actually see this as an opportunity to be used by God to reach others just in the way that we're responding, just in the way that we're acting? Or can you use this as an opportunity to serve someone else in your neighborhood? Can you be a good neighbor to them? If you know that you have an older person or a more invalid person in your life, in your neighborhood, could you go the extra mile for them and see if they need anything or check on them? We can use these opportunities of everybody else going crazy to say, this is what it looks and how it looks different when my security is in God. My security is not in myself. My security is not in other people or in my government. My security is in God. He will protect me. He will guide me. He fills me with peace. And therefore, I can extend peace and love to others. It's an opportunity that I don't want us to miss out on. Yes, Kay says I have to protect my elderly parents. Yes, you do. Absolutely. But my goodness, so I want to read for you, so powerful, Psalm 91. I won't read the whole thing, but I'm going to read a few excerpts from it because allow this to be the peace that you need. So if you find yourself in this time feeling so anxious, feeling so worried, if you're giving in to the fear of the Armageddon thing happening, God doesn't want that for you. He says, I am your refuge. You come to me and I protect you. You come and you rest in me. We do not and should not be giving in to the craziness of the hype and the hysteria all around us, guys. We know where our hope comes from. Wow. So, listen to this and then go read this and meditate on this on your own and let the Holy Spirit speak to your heart. Because this is the message that he wants you to have and that he wants you to live, experience, and display for other people that you're coming in contact with in the following days and weeks. Because we don't know when this is going to end. That's a frustrating part. We don't know when it's going to end, and we don't know if it's going to get worse before it gets better. So we have an opportunity to grow closer to the Lord in this time, and to show by our life, by our example, by our experience, by our love, compassion, and a friendly smile, that we are not giving in to the hysteria, the anxiety, the panic, the worry, the fear. Man, and if that's what's going on in your heart, then recognize that, and it's time to go to the Lord more intentionally right now, because he does not want that for you. And that doesn't spread the gospel message of what a life looks like secured in Jesus. That doesn't spread that message to other people when you give in to the same thing that they're giving into. We want to show people that life with God is different, and it's tangibly different. It's tangibly different. Wow. All right. Psalm 91. I'm going to read a few passages for you. Verse 1 and 2. He who dwells in the shelter of the Most High will rest in the shadow of the Almighty. Where are you dwelling? Are you dwelling in the shelter of the Most High and resting in him? Verse 2, I will say of the Lord, he is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. What are you trusting in right now? Are you trusting in your supplies, your soap and your hand sanitizer? Are you trusting in your bottled water? What are you trusting in? It's good to be prepared, guys. Especially those of us in California, right? We're supposed to have earthquake emergency preparedness stocks in our garage somewhere, right? We're supposed to be prepared. It's okay to be prepared, but is that where you are placing your trust? What are you going to do when that runs out? Then what? Then all of a sudden you're going to give into the panic? He is my refuge and my fortress, my God in whom I trust. Psalm 91, verse 9, if you make the Most High your dwelling, even the Lord who is my refuge, then no harm will befall you. No disaster will come near your tent. For he will command his angels concerning you to guard you in all ways. Then they will lift you up in their hands so that you will not strike your foot against a stone. You will tread upon the lion and the cobra. You will trample the great lion and the serpent. Verse 14, because he loves me, says the Lord, I will rescue him. Because he loves me, says the Lord. What is God saying he will do for the one who loves him? He will rescue him. I will rescue him. I will protect him because it says, for he acknowledges my name. He will call upon me and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life I will satisfy him and show him my salvation. That's the Lord speaking. Verse 14 through the end, 14 through 16, Psalm 91, because he loves me, says the Lord, I will rescue him. I will protect him, for he acknowledges my name. He will call upon me and I will answer him. I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. Are you literally afraid that you might die because of this? Maybe you are in that higher risk category. Maybe you do have cases of this in your own city, but maybe you don't. But maybe you do. And maybe you're in the high risk categories. Maybe you have a legitimate fear that this could attack you and this could be your end. But for the vast majority of us, that fear is unwarranted. And even if you did have cases where you live, and even if you are in that high risk age category, and even if you are already compromised in your health in different ways that make you more susceptible to things like this, even then, do you not know where you're going when it is your time to go? For the vast majority of us, this will not be our end. But even if it was, is that really so terrible? Because you know where you're going. To me, it's like, let's go. People are crazy. People are crazy. Let's go. Can you live in that place where you're like, God, if this is it, then let's go? Or are you in this place of overwhelming, debilitating fear because you're afraid that this is going to get you and that this is going to be your end? If you know where your end lies, then you don't care. Yes, we don't want to suffer. Yes, we don't want things to be terrible and for it to be, painful and all these things. But at the same time, if God is ready to take you, well, then let's gladly go. Does that make sense? We do not need to be giving in to the fear of this thing. And even if for whatever reason you happen to get it, which is a very, 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 very small chance, if for just in case you were to get it, most often you're going to survive it. Most often you're going to survive it. It may not be comfortable, it may be actually quite terrible, but you most likely will survive. So we need to check our fears. We need to check our irrational fears. We need to check the way that we are responding to everybody else, and are we giving in to the craziness and to this hype? Or are we saying, let me be the peace and calm of Christ for others to see? Let me be his hands and feet to others who are genuinely freaked out and scared because they don't know where they're going in the end. But when things like this happen, it really comes back down to the basics of what is your relationship with God, and do you know where you're going? Because if you do, it's so much better than this that you want to go. Right? So let's not get sucked in, guys. I really, really encourage you to, I'm looking for the right word, but to modify your exposure of how much you are being addicted to the news. It's good to be informed, but there's so much misinformation out there right now. And because of all the hype, because of all the hysteria, because of all the everything that we're experiencing, things are being taken out of context and it is becoming unnecessarily frightful. So mediate how much you are taking at face value what you're hearing on the news, and maybe take a little bit of a break from it. Seek this. Let this speak to your heart. Seek this. and be informed with the legitimate sources of information. Don't take other people's word for it. Be informed with your own legitimate information, which means going to the source, right? Go to the CDC website. I think it's great that all these people and things are taking precautions to prevent, large gatherings. That's wonderful. That seems a healthy thing to do. But outside of that, exercise common sense. Maybe so many people are freaking out because they're realizing their regular daily hygiene wasn't all that great. But if you're already in the habit of being a clean person, of already washing your hands and using hand sanitizer and distancing yourself from those who are not feeling well and covering your own mouth when you cough or sneeze, right? Being mindful of how much you're touching your face after you've touched other surfaces. If you are exercising common sense and you already had good personal hygiene practices, this should not be that much of a stretch different. So it makes me really wonder, well, how much, good grief, right? How crazy were people being completely unsanitary before, but yet we were still all surviving? Oh my goodness. Anyway, it's just gotten crazy. So I wanted to just share with you, you are not to give in to the hysteria, to the fear, to the anxiety. You are called to rest in the refuge of God, who will protect you. He says, I will protect them who call upon my name. He will protect you. And if for whatever reason, the very, very, very small chance that anything actually happens to you, he will be with you. He will go with you in that. And if for whatever reason, the very, very, very small chance that this will be eventually go to your end, well, then you know where you're going home, and it's so much better than this earthly home. You don't have to fear. In this time, let us be the voice and the example of change and of calm and what peace looks like for those who know that their security and protection is in the Lord. Let us show them what that actually looks like as we are going about our day-to-day business. Let us be the helping hand, the warm smile. When all else they're all getting is everybody cutting them off, and everybody rushing to be in line, and everybody having a hoarding mentality, a me, selfish mentality. How can you go serve someone else instead? Ask God, who can I serve instead? Let me take the lens off of my selfishness and let me go serve someone else to show them the love of God in this very scary and confusing time for so many. But we do not need to get sucked into that. All right. Whew! You survived. Those of you that made it till the end, you survived. Thank you for listening. But God just put that on my heart, and what a powerful, powerful psalm, Psalm 91. We call upon his name, and he promises to protect us and to give us long life. We don't have to be afraid of all the fear and hype going around. We just have to be cautious, common sense, and let's use it as a witnessing opportunity. All right, ladies, I love you. Have a good rest of your day. I'm contemplating, I don't even know what's going on, swirling things in my mind. But I was talking to Laura, who's on here right now as well, and both of our churches, have closed down, and I got text messages from other friends whose churches have closed down around the country. And that's understandable. It's unfortunate, but it's understandable. And so a lot of churches are going to online services this week and in the coming weeks. And I just thought maybe there's an opportunity here for us to have our own little online gathering, our own little service. I don't know if we could officially call it a church. We're not an official church organization, with the government. But I'm just thinking different thoughts swirling around that maybe this could be an opportunity for us to be coming together for our own little service. So let me know if you're interested in that, if you think that could be interesting, if there'd be something that you might want to be a part of. And I think more than ever, this is a beautiful opportunity for us to be coming closer together, to be encouraging one another, praying for one another, and praying against the fear, against the anxiety, praying against all these things that are swirling around in our society in mass, swirling around our world right now. There is a spiritual battle going on, and they're feeding on fear, feeding on insecurity, and that is not who we are. We are called to have no fear and to know where our security lies. It lies in the Lord, not in the world. Man. So maybe have some opportunities of us coming together for those reasons. We'll see how that goes. All right. Love you all. Thank you so much for being here. If this message was encouraging or inspiring to you, hit that share button. Share it out. Tag your friends. Let them know. Let them be inspired and encouraged as well. That life does look and feel and experience differently when we have a personal relationship and our security is in the Lord. So good. All right, everybody. Love you all. See you later. Bye.
Thanks for listening. Remember to subscribe and join me next week for the next episode of the Healthy Christian Women Podcast. Inspiring Christian women to live healthier in their mind, body, and spirit, one day at a time. Grab your complimentary mind, body, and spirit detox checklist at healthychristianwomen.com/detox. That's healthychristianwomen.com/detox.